slaying creatures with weapons, using the power of music, to shooting them like Arnold, to role-playing as a weeb. This game, alongside the others in this series, brings great value to players around the world, mainly for those that are interested into RPGs. With the release of Monster Hunter Rise to consoles fairly recently, I figured it was a good time to make this video. I'll put in the description timestamps so you can skip to certain sections. And without further ado, I introduce you to the world of Monster Hunter Rise and why you should play it. Monster Hunter Rise is the newest installment in the long-running Japanese action RPG franchise Monster Hunter. Focused around battling against creatures and monsters of varying shapes, sizes, and attitude, this game initially was released worldwide in March in 2021, but has since been ported to PC and Xboxes, PlayStations earlier this year. Franchise as a whole started with the original Monster Hunter back in 2004, and since then has grown immensely in popularity, especially overseas in the US, in my opinion with the release of Monster Hunter World. Not only did Monster Hunter World bring the franchise to major consoles outside of Nintendo's devices, it featured amazing graphics, gameplay, and content support. Monster Hunter World was my first introduction into the Monster Hunter series. I put hundreds of hours into the game, and most of the time was spent trying out the different weapons and creating different builds for them. Now with Monster Hunter Rise back when it was released on Switch, it was another game with some new systems, mechanics, monsters, weapon designs, etc. And now that the game is on PC and consoles, we're able to play with higher resolutions and frames, resulting in a better player experience. I find Monster Hunter Rise to be fun in particular because of the wirebug system. This is a system where players have access to these insects called wirebugs. Players can use them to move about the environment in certain ways, but most importantly, they're used in combat. With the introduction of silkbind moves, essentially each weapon has their own unique set of silkbind moves that cause a certain amount of wirebugs to use, ranging from defensive, offensive, utility, all that good stuff. These wirebugs come back after a set time, so it isn't something to wait and not use, but rather to be used on the fly consistently. If you browse and delve into the Monster Hunter community, I'm sure you'll read about how some people really don't like the wirebugs because either they made the game easy, makes the game too fast-paced, or some other comment. And then you'll have people that praise it, say the opposite. But really, at the end of the day, I see Monster Hunter Rise as the perfect installment for newcomers to jump in and play. And while I personally believe this game is a little bit easier than World, it is still a game that poses some difficulty, and players can choose to make the game harder or easier by abiding or ignoring certain mechanics. Now, a few more reasons why I like Monster Hunter Rise, and just Monster Hunter in general. I like the weapons. There are currently 14 weapons in this game to choose from, and in each weapon or type, there's like a weapon tree, and there are different weapons in that can be made from varying different resources, such as different monsters / creature parts, bones, bugs, etc. And of course there's also armor, which is also dealt in a similar way. And the RPG system here comes from the general game loop of find a monster, fight it, kill it, harvest it, and then make cool stuff. It's a simple game loop that has persisted and has been the main reason people have played this game, and the only ones in this series for well over a decade. And the other reason, which I will explain, is around accessibility. Yes, keeping it short, yes you can. Monster Hunter Rise and its predecessors can be played just fine alone. In fact, many like doing so. If you go on YouTube, you'll see speedruns and personal challenges, and most of the time those people are playing by themselves. Now, there are some monsters and quests that are designed for co-op, especially in Monster Hunter Rise. You have the Gathering Hub, and the Gathering Hub, all the monsters and all everything is scaled for multiplayer. But from my experience, any quest can really be done solo or not. It's just with a buddy, if you have like a buddy, or if you decide to randomly queue online, it does make the hunt that much easier, especially the more people that you do have. So that's something to keep note of. If you want to play this solo, you absolutely can, but I feel like in Monster Hunter, to get the most out of it, you want to play with some buddies or play with some random people. So like I said before, my first Monster Hunter game was Monster Hunter World. I loved it, and to this day, many people still play it. And one of the few videos I've made on a build for that game is still being viewed. I personally say, once you're finished with this game, definitely pick up Monster Hunter World and his DLC Iceborne. Graphically, the game still looks amazing, the combat and monsters are great. Any older game in the series will be recommended depending on if you are interested in playing older games that may have, say, outdated designs. An example could be the inability to heal while moving, or needing to gather resources, or bringing extra resources to sharpen your weapon, or the inability to enter your camp and swap weapons and armors on the fly. For an older game, I would probably suggest Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. I feel like it's the most modern of those games, but you know, feel free to check about and see what the other games are like. Just note that since they are older games, a lot of quality of life stuff that's now modernized is not there. In summary, Monster Hunter Rise has done a great job with its latest installment, and has brought many new hunters into the general world or universe of Monster Hunter. I remain an avid fan of many weapon types, and I see many more hours in my future, especially with the coming DLC Sunbreak that will be releasing on consoles later in the year. But if you are new to Monster Hunter Rise, I will link a very beginner info video in the description. That's on my other channel. And I hope by the end of this video you are convinced to give this game a try. Especially if you are a Game Pass owner. It's in Game Pass currently, so there's no reason to not give it a try. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for making it this far into the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Share with your friends, your communities. Comment what you think of the video and subscribe. And you know, if you've played Monster Hunter in the past, either the older games or this current one, what are some of your favorite weapons? I personally, like I said, I've played a lot of weapons. I made Dual Blades and Insect Glaive in World, and then now I'm focusing on Charge Blade and Hunting Horn. But you know, I've tried so many different weapons. It's really fun. By the way, also, I guess if you made it this far or this late into the video, just comment panda. Grah! And if you don't get anything physical, but I'll just be really happy, and I'll know that you've watched a lot of this video, and it will give you good luck on your hunts. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm still trying to figure out like what is the next video I want to do, or next game I want to cover. So if you got any ideas, put that as well in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Peace.